I am Precious Chukudi, of course. Thank God it's Friday. And also, I would like to say a very big happy birthday to Damola Ogunshakin. She clocks 1 year today. I'm hoping that she will give us enough rice and chicken wherever she is. She's a fine presenter. She's been doing her job very well. Happy, beautiful birthday to her. All right, let's move straight to some of the front pages of the papers, the story. We're starting off with Vanguard. Vanguard is leading with TINUBU'S of $160,000 US tax. APC PDP campaign trades wars. The writer says Tinubu committed no crime. PDP went to US, dug up old document. That's coming from Kiamo. Says of $160,000 US dollars deducted as tax on a 10 account linked to Tinubu in US. Tinubu has questions to answer over $460,000 for picture. That's coming from PDP. Also, stories above, we can see threats to 2023. INEC summons an emergency security meeting today. The writer says of 65,000 PVCs, 904 ballot boxes, 29 voting cubicles destroyed. How arsonists raised INEC offices in Osun, Ogun with bread bomb. Also on page 14, Aerotropolis, Aviation Union threatens to shut airport nationwide. On page 11, we have 2023, refrain from publishing unofficial election results. Uzodi Mattels editors. And on page 9, we've set up team to investigate Atiku's convoy attack in Borno. That's coming from the IGP. Why federal government picked Ethiopian Airline as national carrier partner. That's what the aviation minister is saying. On page 27, US UK terror alert. Arrested suspects will be prosecuted. We won't allow any online platform plunge Nigeria into crisis. That's coming from the federal government. All right, let's take a look at the Guardian newspaper. The Guardian is leading with 65,000 PVCs bond. Fear heightens as twin attacks on INEC offices. The writer says INEC summons emergency security meeting today. Ogun CP, INEC offices need increased security. PDP, APC condemn attacks. Gaia, insecurity won't affect election. Census, election can't hold amid insecurity. Secure Nigeria now. Bishop tells federal government. PDP restates a commitment to violent free poll despite attacks on its rallies. Election results cannot be influenced with beavers. INEC reiterates. We can also see a big story. With trillions lost to failed and collapsed buildings, stakeholders tread slippery road to recovery. UN terrorism intensifies across Africa, exploiting instability, conflict. Stories above, we have again aviation workers fault concession, planned demolition of a fan, NAMA offices. Be objective in your reporting. Uzodima urges editors. Kogi targets 591 billion naira yearly IGR, deepens ties with China. NPC warns Nigeria against migrating for census. You can see that on page 9. Let's take a look at the Nation newspaper. The Nation is leading with how Tinubu will actualize plans on economy security. The writer says technocrats explain how APC candidates will deliver on promises. Also, we have a US UK terror alert. Those arrested will be prosecuted, says IG. There's a quote that says, some of the Chibok girls have been coming out one after another. Sometimes they say we have come to see our parents and we want to go back. Stories above, Tinubu, I will complete Ajaokuta rolling mill. Arsonists burn 65,000 PVCs in Ogun INEC offices. And on page 41, we have Ooni Adeyeye Ogunwusi and his women. And lastly, on the front page of the Nation, we have Atiku optimistic of truce with G5 governors. All right, let's take a look at the Punch newspaper. The Punch is leading with a forex crisis. Traders lose as Naira rebounds to $720. The writer says the currency jumps from 910 Naira to 720 Naira in 6 days. How EFCC clamped down market sentiment, reverse Naira slide. BDC operators resist the Naira rebound, holds back greenback purchase. 11 die as Kogi protesters barricade road with tanker. Woman plunges into lagoon after argument with fiancé. You can see that on page 4. Lagosian burns wife to death. Lagos, Port Harcourt likely to witness weather catastrophe. You can see that on page 14. Stories above we have farmers kick as CBN halts Anchor Boras program. Oil theft suspects reject extradition, sues federal government. Obi's investment in Anambra next to nothing. That's what Soludo is saying. And lastly, on the front page of the Punch newspaper, Arson, INEC meets security chiefs today. All right, that's how we can take on the front pages of the paper. Join us after the break. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. If you're just joining me, still today in the news on Vanguard Live, and of course, this is our analysis segment. And joining me to talk about some of the stories on the front pages of the paper is Mr. Oludare Mayowa. He's the publisher of Global Financial Digest. Good morning, sir. Good to have you join me this morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me today.
All right, so let's delve into the stories we have this morning. And of course, one of our main stories is talking about Tinubu. And let's talk about the fact that $460,000 was deducted from his account. And now, according to Festus Kiamo, he had said that the deduction was from one of the 10 accounts linked to Tinubu as tax on investments domiciled in U.S. banks. And you can recall that earlier in the week, some documents surfaced online on Tinubu's alleged involvement in narcotics and money laundering about 30 years ago. What's your take on this information?
Thank you very much. When you look at the whole scenario, it's not new, really. You say that these are being a recurring thing, and they are being absolutely denied by Tinubu and his gang and his group throughout the year. Initially, they have denied his involvement in any drugs or forfeiture of any money. And now that we have document evidence, true copy CTC of the trial, again, they have gone all the way to debunk the document or put it to pieces. I think the resolution for that is for somebody who's can to put it to test in a court of law. That's the way to really actually prove the whole thing. All this denial and not go back and forth by it is, for me, insignificant. But it's a shame that we are having somebody who's engrossed in allegations of drug trafficking, drug money laundering, trying to contest as president of Nigeria. It's a big shame to Nigeria. But for me, I think for us to actually get to the root of this thing, Nigerian government itself should do an investigation into the issue to get to the bottom of to find out the real truth about this matter. Otherwise, we'll be an albatross on the neck of all of us as a country. That's my own position on that issue, really.
Mm. Now, decide to put as president come 2023 will determine our lives. Now, how can Nigerians, focus on picking equitable leaders come next year?
The unfortunate thing about this country is that leaders are not completely elected based on merit, based on their capacity to perform. It's probably based on sentiment, religions, and ethnicity. So these are the factors that actually influence election of leaders in Nigeria. That's why we can only have all manner of people aspiring to become Nigerian president. That's why we can only have issues like this in the public domain, and yet nobody is taking it very seriously. That this will affect all our image. If we really don't get to the root of this issue, for example, this drug leader issue of Tinubu, it will affect all of us. For example, if he get to be elected as our president next year, all of us as a nation will be seen as culpable in drug trafficking. All of us will be found guilty as a culpable in trafficking, money laundering, and the rest. Because we have somebody sitting in the seat of power in this country who has allegation of money laundering, drug trafficking hanging on his neck. So for me, like I said, the only way to clear the year is for Tinubu to submit himself to thorough investigation, thorough scrutiny, so that the truth can be known and once and for all, and can clear it, so that if eventually elected as a president, there won't be any goods of allegation around him, and it will affect because we are playing with the image of this country. We are playing with our own personal image as individuals, as citizens of this country. Until that issue is resolved, all of us we are in danger by that singular allegation.
All right, moving on, INEC has summoned an emergency meeting, security meeting following renewed attacks on its offices in some parts of the country. Now, with just 106 days, to the elections, are these simultaneous attacks not worrisome?
It's very, very worrisome, and it's a threat to the forthcoming election. And this thing cannot be ruled out because of the desperation by politicians from all divides to power by this. But these are the basic reasons why they are attacking the INEC office, destroying PVC, destroying the office, and just to destroy, just to hurt the election, or to cause some maximum damage to discourage some people from voting. For example, the PVC that was burnt in that place, that many people will be disenfranchised by that act alone. So for me, government should sit up. Unfortunately, we don't have the capacity to actually protect the INEC offices across the nation. All our officers in the army, in the military, in the police have been deployed to secure to secure where ISWAP and Kodam are fighting, and to even protect the rampaging kidnappers across the nation. So we have little capacity to protect the election, and we cannot do it. Then we are jeopardizing the success of the election.
All right. Also, I'd like you to speak to the, rising incident of attacks on supporters of various political parties since the campaign started. I mean, we saw what happened to the PDP at Borno State. What can you say about this?
Yeah, what we are all witnessing in Borno a few days ago still speaks to the desperation of politicians, and it speaks to the fact that we are not operating democracy in this country. You can see the debate across the line. You can see the violence. You can see even the social media. You can see the violence attack, the violent response to any inquiry made. You can see the way the politicians are reacting to issues that actually we have to move on the public domain and debate and discuss, to find out the truth. And see, so it speaks to the desperation of our politicians to grab power at office, regardless of their performance, of their capacity, of their intention to rule this country fairly. And their supporters are desperate to ensure that their principal win the election either by hook or by base, whatever it is. And that's exactly what we need to do. We need to reorientate people that, number one, the election is not a true and fair affair. But two, that people must know that this nation desperately needs leaders that will restore economic emancipation, that will restore stability and peace in this country. So we need to elect the leader who has the capacity, who has the good intention. So we don't have to frustrate, we don't have to ensure that our candidate wins the election.
All right, let's move on to talk about this. And of course, hearing the US and the UK, also issue security advisory concerning, a looming attack and in the FCT. And, the IGP just confirmed the arrest of some suspected terrorists with the plan to attack the FCT. What can you say as regards that?
It's unfortunate that we're having this recurring issue all along. In the last couple of months, we have seen the military intensify their effort to contain the insecurity. We have seen area bombardment by Air Force, and we have already assumed that probably they have made tremendous progress in trying to nip in the bud insecurity. But fortunately, we have seen equally resurgence of insecurity, even along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Twice in the last 1 month, people have been kidnapped, people have been injured, people have been killed on that road by kidnappers. That means that we have not been able to address the issue comprehensively, holistically, and to ensure security in this country. And so it's a sad development. And I have put the country in a dire strait. That's why you see the United Kingdom and United States issue advisory for their citizens. Evacuating some of their staff from this country is a very dangerous situation for us and very disheartening for us because we are living the edge. I told somebody recently my reaction to that. I said, look, if the time pass, if you invite me for a social function, I can travel to Ibadan or Ijebu for function. But for now, I'm evaluating my own travel plan myself. That even Ibadan today is now a risk for me to travel on. And that's the danger all of us are living in. And this will affect investment, this will affect employment, this will affect food security in this country, and down the line, it affects so many things. And that's why we are finding ourselves. Government must wake up to their responsibility. Government must wake up to do the right thing to ensure that the country is secured.
All right, let's move on. And this one is from the federal government. Now, they have said that they will continue to monitor development around Twitter following its takeover by a new owner, and that they will not allow social media platform plunge Nigeria into crisis. What are your thoughts?
Buhari government has shown itself of intolerance of public opinion, public debate. Yes, we have seen excesses in on Twitter, on social media, and the rest. But how much of that affect the country in terms of security, in terms of financial, in terms of economic factor? These should not be the focus of the government. The economy is in a dear state. People are unemployed. People are suffering across the nation. There are insecurity all over the place. This should be the focus of the government, not what people are saying on social media. Not what people are saying on Twitter. I think for me, it's a diversion of attention, so to say. That's where I look at it. Government should focus on the right thing, how to revamp the economy, how to restore peace in this country, how to ensure we have a peaceful transition to another government. That should be the focus of the government, not talking about Twitters and the rest and social media, what people are saying on. How much of this affects our economy? How much of this affects our stability in this country? None. So for government is just I'm looking for an excuse to clamp down on the public discourse, which for me is not. I would not agree for democracy we are practicing.
All right. Since the advent of social media, what ways has citizen journalism shaped information dissemination?
Yeah, it has fast-tracked access to information. It has liberalized access to information. You don't have to depend on for example, in those days, I remember in those days, you have to wait for either evening paper, evening times, or evening whatever to break the news for you. You have to wait for BBC or VOA to break the news for Nigeria. But today, on the top of the button, your news has spread. Though we have liberalized information. Although, yes, we have seen increase in fake information across the country, but in balance of scale, it has liberalized information. People have access to more information than it used to be, and that's a good development for our nation. We just need to manage the aspect of the fake news and the rest. And that time we're having many more people are doing fact checking on the fake information just to curb their impact. For me, it's a good development across the board. No matter the way you are looking at it.
All right, let's take a look at Mr. and Mrs. And Mrs. is speaking this morning. She says there are some men who still give their wives whatever they ask for, recession or no recession. And Mr. reply says there are some women who are never satisfied, recession or no recession.
Good response. Good response. Because I talk of giving recession. Recession means that you tighten your belt. So, but if you are saying recession or no recession, so the guy gave the right answer to the wife, and I think they will have to debate it here and there.
All right. All right, thank you so much, Mr. Oludari Mayowa, publisher of Global Financial Digest. Thank you for sharing your thought with us this morning.
Thank you for having me today. Thanks so much, and have a lovely day.
Yeah. Also, remember that you can equally like, share, and subscribe on all our social media platforms showing on your screen on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Our WhatsApp number is also displayed on your screen. To find out more, go to our website www.vanguardngl.com to find out more. Of course, it's Friday. Make sure you enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye. Thank you for watching.